It seems like the age of scamming with crypto is back. People might be more empowered to do it. Obviously, we already kind of went through a phase like that a few years ago. Things kind of went down into this bear market, but things have come back. And now, with the president launching a meme coin that's not doing too well, by the way, I think people are going to feel more empowered to actually do this and try and scam people out of their money. So with that, there's a video from a few months ago talking about Americans losing their life savings to crypto fraud that I want to see, what they're talking about, because I think obviously people think of Bitcoin when you say crypto, even though there is a drastic difference between Bitcoin and crypto. You have to kind of understand why and do your own kind of learning about it to figure out why. People don't like to hear that, but there's a drastic difference, and I think that people need to realize that.
I met my scammer through a dating app called Bumble, where he spent about 6 weeks courting me before I made my first investment into a cryptocurrency fraudulent website domain. I lost 152,000 USD. I will probably be spending the next 10 years to pay off the debts for completing the manipulative techniques that were used to get me.
So this story is insane, right? But I don't think that's how most people get scammed with crypto. I think that it's mostly through meme coins. Uh, but I can see it both ways actually, because this is probably the normal person not really involved in crypto, doesn't really know what's going on and how things are working in there. And they get someone to say, hey, you know what? This could make so much money. Just do this and put money here. And they just take the money. So it doesn't really involve crypto. It involves like talking about it because people know crypto is volatile and people are getting rich from it. But it's just kind of used as a keyword. I think a lot of people that are getting scammed in crypto now are people who are chasing meme coins, who are desperate to get rich quick. And you can't have that mindset, right? If you want to get rich quick, you are not going to achieve that. You're going to stay broke forever. So abandon get rich quick, because it's just not going to happen.
When we had TradFi thefts and TradFi schemes, it was really difficult to get a victim to go liquidate literally everything they had.
Yeah, that's probably true too. So crypto is much easier to send and receive, right? Now you can get into the weeds here, but let's just keep it simple. You can get crypto, put it on an exchange, send it to someone's wallet, and then it's gone. They have it, you don't. It's a lot harder than people know these scams from the call scams where you get gift cards and they have to beg you and say, oh, please go to the store, get a $500 gift card, get 10 $500 gift cards, and don't worry when they say this is weird, just say no, I know what I'm doing. And people can see that and say, that's crazy, right? Like, that's just insane. And it takes a lot more friction to do that. It's a lot easier to have someone stay in their house, open up Robinhood or an exchange, buy some crypto and send it to you. They don't even have to leave their house. They can not have to interact with someone who might say, you might be getting scammed. So it does make it easier, right? So, but it's new too, right? It's new. So eventually we'll get to a point where this stuff is like buying gift cards and sending it to people, sending the codes, right? Where people say, no, that's sketchy. That's a scam. Hopefully we get there.
Text from a stranger, claiming they have the wrong number, but they seem friendly enough and continue the conversation. Or you hit it off with someone on a dating app. They might eventually try to strike up a conversation about an investment strategy they have, but government agencies warn this could be the first step to luring you to give up your money. The FBI's latest internet crime report, published in April, shows that $4.5 billion lost to investment fraud were reported in 2020.
All right, so investment fraud. So this is narrowed down quite a bit. So, going just off investment fraud, fraud in general is the dollar dominates fraud, right? Like, people talk about crypto or Bitcoin fraud. Bitcoin is microscopic compared to the dollar, but focusing on investment fraud, $4 billion involved crypto. It's just like the new frontier. This is where people are going. This is where the scammers go to try and do something new so that people don't understand. So it makes sense that this would be the massive amount.
23, and 86% of those fraud schemes mentioned cryptocurrencies.
This is why the crypto sector, in my personal opinion, deserves a lot of the scrutiny. In the right hands, it can be used safely. In the wrong hands, it can carry out devastation that we cannot imagine.
So this, of course, they go like Bitcoin. I think that is like one of the biggest things we have to try to separate from people's minds is Bitcoin and crypto. And people obviously lump it together. Plenty of people hate Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is different from all the other cryptos because all these other cryptos have a company behind them, a head, a CEO, someone in charge, a group in charge. They have somebody there. Bitcoin doesn't. It's CEO list, board list, company list. It is just money on the internet that you can send and receive anywhere in the world. Like this stuff, can you get scammed with Bitcoin? Of course, you can get scammed with everything, but Bitcoin itself is not a scam.
That this scammer has become the relationship they always wished they had. Holding their hand through every piece of it, they will direct our victims to take money out of their banks and invest it into what they believe is a cryptocurrency platform.
The fraudulent website platform that they used was mimicked after a real cryptocurrency trading platform called Kraken Futures. And the website was built in a way that it looked like a completely legitimate cryptocurrency trading platform.
So the scam really doesn't involve crypto. It involves it in the name, like I said before. But it's a fake website, basically, that you are sending money to. You're just sending money to them in the allure of an exchange, and they're just taking your money, right? It doesn't have anything to do with buying a crypto or buying something and sending it to them. So, yes, it involves crypto, but, not really. It's still just kind of a take your money, put it in their account, but it's just fronted by a crypto exchange, but it's not real.
We can see what tools and services that they are purchasing, reinvesting those profits, but we can also see them cashing out to clusters representing cryptocurrency businesses, like an exchange, for instance. And this is a beautiful lead for us investigators and law enforcement.
Tracing funds down to an exchange can be key to an investigation, as the exchanges may have the information needed to identify criminals. Anti-Money Laundering and Bank Secrecy Act practices push crypto exchanges to report illicit activity to law enforcement.
So the same thing these guys are using to scam bites them in the back, because the blockchain doesn't lie. And if you send, let's say Bitcoin, for example, if you send Bitcoin somewhere and someone knows that that's your wallet, or that you took money, sent it to this exchange, and then bought Bitcoin and then sent the Bitcoin somewhere, all of that's traceable. So, I think these guys are, I think eventually crypto will be something that no one likes to scam on, unless it's like privacy coins or something. But Bitcoin, criminals do not like Bitcoin, which is, again, why I want to separate Bitcoin and crypto. Like, criminals do not want to use Bitcoin because the blockchain's transparent. So if you find where they're sending Bitcoin and stuff, you can track all of their funds, all of their activity, and then know everything that's going on with them. And obviously criminals don't want that. So it's kind of like law enforcement loves if you use Bitcoin to scam, because they can trace it all and then eventually find you.
Pig butchering cases involve numerous partnerships between the private and public sectors, all cooperating across multiple jurisdictions, some with weaker regulations than others.
The biggest challenge presented by crypto asset recovery is the almost guaranteed, a multi-jurisdictional footprint. So when your case is in the $10,000, 3 overseas likely entities, probably 6 to 9 to 12 months of information gathering, it just immediately falls into the "we're sorry, we probably can't take this case forward" category.
So that kind of, I guess, sucks. If you get scammed for not enough money, they're just going to write you off, say, sorry, this is going to take a year to figure out, and it's not worth it. It's going to take a year and $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to figure out to try and get $10,000. So, that really sucks, right? If you get scammed for not enough money, you're just out of luck. So I don't know. That's insane. So I guess if you're gonna get scammed, make sure it's a lot of money. But just don't get scammed, right? I mean, I feel like this should be pretty common sense, pretty easy to just kind of be like, don't do this. Don't send people money that just randomly text you. Don't send people money in general that you don't know. Like, what are we doing? This should be common sense. You would think it would be. But I guess this whole thing is like establishing trust, but so it makes it even harder, right? Like these guys establish trust with you, text you for every day for hours on end, for weeks on end, months, and then eventually they just randomly ask you for money. Like that should probably be a red sign, right? Just even if someone's texting you or talking to you, doing all this stuff, and then just randomly be like, could you send me some Bitcoin? I mean, maybe don't do that.
Crypto scams are only getting more and more common. A Better Business Bureau report found that crypto and investment scams became the #1 riskiest in 2023, with 80% of people targeted reporting lost funds. At the same time, these scams are getting ever more complex.
We're normally dealing with scammers and helping law enforcement go after people. We've now seen very many cases where entirely AI created identities, documentation, passports are being used. That's not something we've had to tackle in the past.
So that's crazy too. These guys are evolving, right? These like using AI to create fake people and fake identification to deploy and use that to scam someone and take money. So even if you can figure out who someone is, or what name they used, it's not them. It's a random name, a random AI generated thing. So that is crazy. The numbers they said, like 80% of people lost money or don't get their funds back. And even if you do, you get like 10 to 15% of your funds back. That is insane stats. Like you basically don't get anything. If you come into a crypto scam, you basically are just out of luck. You've lost, which honestly makes sense because tracing the crypto is one thing, and you can do that. But there's mixers, there's chain hopping, there's different things they can do, and they can be in any part of the world. So it just makes it much harder. I do think, or I hope, that we get to a point where we start to realize that these are scams. I mean, it's been years though, like over 4 or 5 years with NFT scams we saw. Those were ripe. Meme coin scams, we thought that was all dead and gone behind us. And now fast forward to today, a few years later, meme coins are launching, they're scams, and people are still buying in. So I don't know. I don't know if it'll ever go away. I hope it does. And I hope at least that the people who might not be so deep into crypto can realize if something feels weird, it probably is, and don't, just throw money at it. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, don't forget to and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video.